Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. This is a good one. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So, Jakey, the fucking stupid ass snakey, right? We're going to get straight into it. The Haros, man, did they throw away evidence? Well, according to a lot of different outlets, a lot of different people, they did. Now, I don't know how everybody knows this. I don't know how this word started floating around social media, but according to a lot of different people, the detectives included, those that have spoken just a little bit on the case, they haven't said much, but those that have put a little bit out there, just a crumb. They left a crumb on the table because we weren't able to compete with the heat that they were bringing, right? It's alleged that Jake and Rebecca Haro, not only did they donate, but they threw away all of baby Emmanuel's clothes, his toys, anything that had any semblance to his life, anything, bottles, clothes, toys, strollers, everything got thrown away. We want to know where the infamous stroller is that Jake says that he had at that football game when Rebecca took her son, allegedly, right, to Big Five Sporting Goods where Ola fucking punched her in the back of the head and she got two black eyes and a broken nose. That's what we want to know. Did they throw away evidence? And why was, when these detectives or whoever found out that this house was basically wiped clean of any existence of baby Emmanuel, why didn't they immediately cease all operations and go straight to any type of trash bin to look for these baby clothes that could quite possibly have baby Emmanuel's DNA, blood, anything that could help in their investigation? Why didn't this happen? See, there's a lot of fumbling going on in this whole case. This case has more twists and turns than a motherfucking Magic Mountain ride. And this is the truth, right? You know, when we first heard about this case, we were a little concerned as citizens, as people, especially parents, people that are around children or have children. We're very, very concerned. A woman, an ugly woman, by the way, but a woman going to Big Five Sporting Goods and being knocked out and her baby being took. The first thing that went through my mind is, wow, they're that bold that they're doing it like that now. You know, back in the days, motherfucker, you want a candy, you want an ice cream. You know, you hear about all these stories and watch these movies on these kidnappings. But for someone to be so bold to just walk up, knock a lumpy butt bitch right out her socks and take her child from her, that was crazy. And then when you realized, hold up, that black eye looks about 3 to 4 weeks old, right? Something ain't right here. Black eyes don't turn purple overnight. There's a little redness that happens. You know, you're a little lumped up. That shit right there, that ain't the math ain't mathing on that, right? And then when she said "Hola," I said, "Oh no, la, nope, this bitch is lying, right? She is lying, just like those filters in her earlier pictures. It's all lies, right?" So for these people to immediately, these monsters, Jake and Rebecca, throw away baby Emmanuel's clothes, and we're sitting here on our fucking thumbs, right? I ain't got my thumb in my hand. No, I didn't say that, right? But we're sitting here on our hands, and we're expecting Rebecca and Jake, the Snake Haro, to accept guilt, to accept, what happened, to literally tell us where baby Emmanuel is. That is never going to happen. They're never going to say anything. I don't think even if they're offered a kosher deal, a good-ass deal, pura at 10.5 a key, are these two fucking idiots going to be willing to tell us where baby Emmanuel is and what really happened? So really, I think we're playing the super duper long game here. Now, October 16th is coming up. Okay, and I do believe, honestly, this is just between me and all of you that are still watching this case, that are still right here rocking with me for justice, for promise, and baby Emmanuel. Not many are, Many have left. Many are more worried about Charlie Kirk and that situation and what's going on here and there. I'm worried about everything, but at the same time, I'm not worried, right? What I'm more concerned with is bringing this baby home and keeping baby Emmanuel's voice alive. That's it. If he couldn't speak for himself, I'm going to speak for him. October 16th, Rebecca and Jake will go back to court. Okay, not only for pretrial. Pretrial will start around the 18th or 19th, I believe. But they're going to go back for this conference amongst the lawyer and the district attorney, the prosecutor, to see if they can hammer or work out a deal. It's crazy that we're talking deals already. It's crazy that they would even think to offer these fucking idiots a deal. Didn't they learn with Jake the first time? Now, I had someone get at me, and I want to address it real quick, and we're going to get back to the clothes and all the stuff being donated and thrown in the trash, because it takes a fucking super duper monster to do some shit like that. Evil people. We're in a battle of good versus evil. We already know where they stand or where their ass sits. Now, we have this court date looming, right? And we all know that in the first case, Jake was basically given a pass. He was given a slap on the hand. He was able to move on. And a lot of people, myself included, were upset with the judge, upset with the prosecutor, upset with a lot of people. Now, I had someone get a comment. They called me all kinds of fucking idiots, and I was a stupid ass, and I was dumb. And it was a chick, a woman, right, that actually tripped me out. Because in the beginning, she was forthcoming with certain things, her theories on the case and whatever. And I respected it. I respect all theories. But that doesn't mean I agree with everything everybody says, just like you guys don't agree with everything I say. We have our right to an opinion and we have our right to our perspective, right? But we're all here for the same cause. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect that woman like she shouldn't disrespect me, because we all should be in the same fight, not the fight to be who's right and who's wrong, but the fight for justice for a baby that was murdered by his own fucking stupid ass parents, right? By lumpy butt and lumpy face. That's what we should be focused on. But instead, this woman gets at me harshly, and I'm not going to make it about myself because I could care less. But I just want to let you know, she was upset because she thinks I was protecting her. I'm paid off by the district attorney. Bitch, I am 1,000 miles away from Yucaipa or any area in the IE, right? Riverside, San Bernardino. I'm thousands of miles away. So I'm not paid off by no one. I have no interaction with the district attorney, right? If I did, I'd have some choice words for him, because I honestly do believe that he fumbled the ball. He get the bag and fumble it. I get the bag, I flip it and tumble it. He fumbled that bag because he had Jake dead to rights for abusing him and Vanessa Avina for abusing Promise. And because of the charges that he charged him with, willful cruelty. Nah, motherfucker, straight up child abuse to the first degree, attempted murder. Okay, he should have went for the gusto, but instead, because he went lightweight on the charges, that was the first inkling. That was the first that was our first look into his mindset and how they give these type of fucking weirdos passes, right? So yes, it all started from the district. Basically, it all started from Vanessa and Jake, to tell you the truth, or Jake and Vanessa, whatever fucking order you want to put monsters in, right? They abused Promise. They almost killed Promise. We'll say Jake more so than Vanessa, because I'm not too sure of Vanessa, what Vanessa did. But if she was a willing participant and she was there, she knows what time it was, right? So Jake does this to Promise, gets this slap on the wrist because the district attorney fumbled the bag. He charged him with the wrong charges. So for all the people that are blaming the judge, and I definitely blame the judge for him going light-handed on this fucking idiot, right? Anytime children are involved, you should throw the book at him. Hit him with the fucking encyclopedia, the hard copy. Hard, right? But he didn't. And that's something that we're going to have to live with. But you know, it's something that baby Emmanuel can't live with, because these idiots were still, Jake was able to be around and even make him. Now, for those of you that are mad at the judge, it's part of the judicial system, man. At the end of the day, his judgment is his judgment. He felt because of the charges, it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Now, I don't understand how you don't do your due diligence and vet the situation and read over the court documents. But to be totally honest with you, man, I went to court before and a judge didn't even know what the fuck I was there for. And I was just like, damn, if you don't know what I'm here for, I don't know what I'm here for either. Let me go. I'm innocent. I ain't been proven guilty. And I'm definitely not going to admit that shit, right? But at the end of the day, man, hey, we could blame everybody else, but the fucking blame falls on two monstrous ass wannabe parents, right? What type of people throw their babies missing? You guys got to understand this. Let's look at it. Let's look at the timeline here. Baby Emmanuel has been reported missing by Richueka Haro and Jake. Oh, I don't fucking know. I was at the football game. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Right? And so all this is going on. Where are the statements from Jake's son's mother, the biological mother who was at the football game, the alleged football game with her old man? Couldn't they tell us straight up if the baby Emmanuel was there or if he wasn't? Couldn't they tell us straight up if baby Emmanuel and Rebecca, Vanessa, they're all the fucking same, they're pirujans, and Rebecca went to Big Five to go get a fucking mouth guard? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't we know? Wouldn't they say something? We've never heard from them yet. They're the mysterious witnesses that I want to hear from. See, nobody's focusing on this case like they need to focus on it. I think our judgment is clouded by these two monsters and what Jake did in the past, and everyone's focused on how the cops, the investigation, how they're not looking for baby Emmanuel. That's fucked up. How this judge fumbled the bag, how this district attorney didn't charge him right with the correct charges. All these different things everybody's focused on, besides a poor baby who was murdered by his parents and quite possibly could be out there, man, just decomposing. And we need to find this baby so we can dress him up, clean him up, and bring him home. Now, it's already been 2 months. So we know what we're going to get if we ever get anything. And I highly doubt that's going to happen. But still, I continue the good fight. I'm going to fight the good fight in the struggle, because there's people out there that rely on my content and my information and everything about baby Emmanuel, man. It just sparks interest. And even more so than that, it sparks emotion, love, man. And it shows that we could use this one child, man, as a catalyst to possibly help in the future other children that are going through some of the same things. And not only that, Promise also needs her justice as well. She can't see it, but she better believe it. Guns right here on it. I'm on the case, right? Now, meanwhile, while this report was being made, hola, right, by Richueka Haro, Lumpy Butt, while Lumpy Butt was talking and making up stories, not even a couple days later, we're not even looking into a murder investigation yet. It's just a missing child investigation. For about the first 2 or 3 days until social media said, man, right, you're bullshitting, and took over. People like Ahmed on the Tina, people like myself, several others, Dolly Vision. I remember all these people that were involved at some point, and now a lot of them are not. But respect to them for, not just speculating, but for bringing awareness. I got to respect everyone who participated at some point. And I understand the game of social media, the beast that it is, man. Time don't give you time, like a Boy George song. You just got to move on. I refuse to move on, specifically on this case, because I feel this case needs the attention, whether I get the views or not, man. That's not, look, I'm going to do that regardless. I work hard. I go hard in the paint. So that's going to come. But this right here needs all the attention that it deserves, because if I don't do it, who else is going to? Every once in a while, you have a motherfucker pop out the bushes when they're not about themselves, right? So listen, while this is going on, before a murder investigation, before Rebecca and Jake are even arrested, they went and threw away all baby Emmanuel's clothes. They didn't expect him to come back. Ding, 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 ding. That's a big one right there. Look, I have some of my children's clothes since they were babies. Their first pair of shoes, little pair of Oshkosh Bagash. Like, I got their stuff. I'll never throw it away. In fact, I hand it down. Like, I got one daughter. Just this year, my daughter's big enough to wear the North Face jacket that I had bought her a few years back, right? So now it's, I'm saying, it's like hand me down. But there's special sentimental things from your kids. Pictures, their first toys, I'm saying? Their strollers. They're just things that you keep in the storage. You just can't get rid of. They're sentimental. But you got these two fucking monster idiots getting rid of his clothes and donating his stuff. Allegedly. And I'm going to tell you why I say allegedly, right? Doing all this, how cold-hearted can you be? They weren't expecting him to come back because they already knew he wasn't coming back, because they murdered their child. Okay? Now, according to Jake, if he actually admitted and told the truth and said he rolled over on baby Emmanuel, according to him, he threw him in the trash right beside the clothing that he threw away a couple days before. Or he threw the clothing away right after. It just makes no sense, all of this. And I want to know where these stories are coming from that he threw away these clothes. You know, I understand that people said that when they went into the house, they didn't find any of baby Emmanuel's things or his clothes. Is it possible? And I'm not making excuses. I'm just being unbiased here, right? At this point, even though it's fuck Jake and Rebecca till the wheels fall off. I can't wait for Friday. I got him, right? But for those of you that are into fuck Jake and Rebecca Fridays, make sure you tap in. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that shit going viral. Let's get it going. We're going to go off. This week, I got a good one. We're going to really go off. Today, we got the double up. So, for those of you that heard that same story that I heard, that they threw the stuff in the trash, they threw away evidence, don't you think there's a possibility or a chance that the detectives actually went into that home and removed all, baby Emmanuel's clothing and his possessions, so that way they could properly do an investigation? There's a chance, where there's error, there's opportunity. So that could have happened, and there could be people just making up stories. I like to look at every situation, because God forbid we're all wrong. I highly doubt it, and Jake gets no fucking pass. Okay, Jake did what he did to promise. He is convicted. He admitted it. So fuck him forever, right? But as far as Rebecca goes, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we can judge her for being an idiot to be with a man that done that to a child. And we can judge for a lot of things. But do we absolutely 100% know she's guilty of murder? Not at this point. Even though something in my gut tells me she's the culprit, she's the main one, Jake is getting the blame because of what he did before, like a dumbass, a stupid ass. It's not a mistake. People are like, he made a mistake. He didn't make a mistake. Beating a kid ain't a mistake. The fuck told you beating a kid is a mistake? That ain't no mistake. The only mistake here is that motherfucker's allowed to breathe. That's the mistake. Anytime you hurt a child, push a child, beat a child, breathe bad on a child, talk bad in front of a child, talk bad to a child, that's not a mistake. That's an issue. And you're the one with it. And you will suffer the repercussions for that fucking issue. The child never has an issue. If a child cries too much, hey, you do what you got to do to make them stop crying. And it doesn't involve physical force or hurting them or shaking them or beating them or pushing them or dropping them. Okay? If you got to sit there and listen to it, sorry, you lazy motherfucker. It's just what you got to do. Okay? I remember my baby used to cry. She had the colic, I think it was called. She used to cry and cry and cry and cry. And I used to be like, damn, I'm trying to wash dishes, right? Mr. Mom, like a motherfucker. Baby mama at work. You know what I'm saying? I had work too, but it was at nighttime. But I was doing the Mr. Mom thing. But do you understand? I didn't fucking shut up. I said, damn, right? Get bottles, change the diapers. You guys remember this shit? Trying to wash the dishes like that. Right? I did everything I could as a father. And I continue to do it. Now, even now, when my children, I want Takis, I want this, I want Roblox, I want this. Calm down. Everything's going to see all right, guys, right? And I take my ass to the store and I buy them their Roblox and their Takis. And that's just how that goes. It's just the type of father I am. But back to the horrible parents, the evil ones, Jake and Rebecca. There is a possibility that they did throw away all this evidence. And what would make them do that? Were they trying to erase any type of anything from, were they erasing baby Emmanuel from existence? The memories? Maybe they did something so horrible that their conscience started to eat at them, and I'm glad it did, that they just couldn't face it anymore. Or maybe they were trying to erase his existence from even existing. Maybe they were saying, if we throw everything away, we don't have to deal with it in our mind. I don't fucking know what they would get out of it unless there was some DNA evidence, like some blood or something on that clothing, right? But to throw away everything, every picture, clothes, right? And again, this is just a story that was put out there. We're not exactly 100% for sure. Now, I remember Ahmed on the Tira said he did a video one time and he said the 7th, 8th, and 9th were going to be key in this video. And he said that Jake was observed going to a store 3 days in a row and donating what seemed to be baby clothing. I would think that the detectives would hear this, go into that store, and want to know exactly what this man donated. It might already be caught up. Goodwill things get mixed up, but still, it's worth a try. But if they did throw away evidence, that doesn't mean there still isn't enough evidence to get these fucking horrible people. I think right now, as it sits, man, we got enough for a conviction. But, and I'll say but, I believe on the 16th, they're going to be offered a deal. And unfortunately for the rest of you guys that are out there that are just like me, that want to see him get all day, every day, possibly death, right? Because if anyone deserves it, they do, especially Jake. I don't think it's going to work out that way. I think they're going to get what is called a circumstantial deal. Because there's only circumstantial evidence, they're going to get a deal. These people are never going to say where baby Emmanuels. If they give them a body, that could quite possibly tell the whole story, right? So they're not going to do that. They're going to take a fucking kosher ass deal and move on, man. And unfortunately, baby Emmanuel is going to still be out there. My respects to those that are continuing his memory. I see that there's memorials. I see that there's a lot of things going on, man. And I want everyone to focus more on him rather than all the he said, she said, and the hearsay, because I'm going to be doing a video later on this afternoon, man, about Ahmed Andatira. I'm seeing some things that are questionable, right? I'm not necessarily saying they're questionable from him, but I need you guys to focus on it because he is part of this case. He is part of baby Emmanuel's being his voice and his angel. He's the originator, right? He's the one that put a lot of the business out there. So we need to really focus on what's going on with him. So hopefully you guys tap in for the double up, because I've been seeing some things, man, that don't sit fucking well with me, unfortunately. Anyways, I'm not going to say what they are. You're going to see the twist. Anyways, with that being said, I want everyone to know that this video right here was sponsored by Barrio Liquors, right? And if you're ever in Turlock, California, man, they got the coldest ones in town. Make sure that you tap in. Go show some love to the owner, Lolly, man. Tell him Gunner and Dub sent you, man. And it's all good. But I want to say this before I play his commercial, man. What did they throw away? And why? Was it just out of pure hatred? Was it their conscience? What do you think? And for that chick that disrespected me, and I call her a chick, and I don't use that term loosely when it comes to women. Women are women, chicks are chicks. There's a difference, right? But the disrespect, why? Because I didn't agree with your story. Fuck you and your story. How about that? Just like you told me. You know, I believe the district attorney and everybody is just as guilty for letting Jake out. But it didn't fit your narrative. So you called me a piece of shit and a dumbass and whatever. Well, guess what? Come join me, dumbass. I hate to do it, but it's real. Justice for baby Emmanuel, justice for Promise. We're going to keep being opinionated, giving our own opinions, and saying what we got to say. So let me know, what do you guys think? Do you think he really threw stuff away, or do you think these are just made up stories? People are making up a lot of stories to try to make these people look more guilty than they already are. We don't need made up stories. We need facts that says straight up. You already know what it is, man. Go tap into Barrio Liquors, the gun.